Curtis VIZZA, head coach of the Vancouver Island Raiders, good enough to spend some time with me right now and set up Week 5 matchup in the Valley, taking on the Huskers and the 2-2 Raiders coming out of the bye week. And let's start there. How'd you use this week, Coach? Did you have the guys in the film room, the weight room, the field? What was the plan to use the bye week with your group?
So our bye week plan, we were pretty banged up. It was lots of rest, lots of film, hydration, get things reset, get all the guys that kind of mental health check back in. Lots of guys from out of town. Just a chance to reset and be prepared for our big week coming up here.
What a game against the Sun. I mean, in honesty, if I'm being fully honest with you, that was not what I expected. I was expecting a real tough challenge, and maybe the Raiders might be in a tough spot on home field there. And I know that there were a lot of alumni in the house, and the vibe, especially after a couple of pick sixes, was just going off at Caledonia Park. What was it like to be part of that scene, and how was that game for your club and your staff?
Walking to that one, playing the matchups back and forth, and even trying to predict as best you can from just watching film, knowing what goes on, knowing who we have. I knew we'd be in tough. And, in that third quarter, it was anyone's guess what happened. Their run game was impressive. That offensive line made holes. They attacked weaknesses, in our first and second levels and made us pay for it. So that part there, you obviously you get a little bit worried about it. But as we progressed, we made adjustments, and that was, great on the coaching staff there. Then we started getting, our playmakers the ball a bit more. And then that big shift in that fourth quarter when we, got pick six, that for us was kind of the final change we needed. Up to that point, the first half, we played pretty well, pretty happy, but it wasn't quite to where we needed to be, and we all knew it. So going into that third quarter, we definitely had not doubt per se, but just knew it was going to be a fight. But fourth quarter, that first pick, it kind of sealed it for him. You could see over on the sideline, that was tough on that team. But for us, it was what, propelled us to just continue on. And something kept piling on, the guys being in the right positions and made plays. So how was it? It was unreal. What a feeling on our end. I'm not going to lie. It was awesome.
Yeah, no doubt about that. Want to talk about first, I guess, the quarterback spot. Cole McGarvey continues to play really well there, but if everyone's eyes on Jake LeBears, where's he at? What's his status? And what can you update us, or what are you willing to update us on the situation with Jake LeBears?
Right now, it looks like Jake should be dressing for the next game. Right now we're in a predicament where we have two great quarterbacks right now with Cole McGarvey. He's got a hot hand, and he's playing well. He's doing everything we asked him to do, gelling well with the offense. So, right now it's me competing at practice. So we're going to see who shows up and who's going to take the lead on this one. So right now it's anyone's kind of guess on who's going to be starting come Sunday against Valley, but I'm happy they're one of them.
Does the and I'm thinking from the perspective of making your opponent prepare for maybe kind of two different things and they don't know. Does the offense change much between the two when they're under center?
You can tell, when you go and watch the two play on how they move and how they run the offense. They both got major strengths that we need to be successful. That's something I'm not going to give that away, but when we game plan for either one of them, it does change a little bit, on the style of play and who they look for, where their reads are. So they're both deadly quarterbacks. So either way, we're going to be prepared.
I wanted to ask about Eli Nome Horton in his second year with you guys, and is just a deadly deep threat with his absolute incredible speed. Of course, a former track guy. Second in the league in receiving yards right now, but his volume of catches is a little low. And I think maybe with the nature of receiver he's always going to be like that. It's kind of the big hit. But is there any discussion at all about, hey, we need to continue to get more balls into his hands?
100%. That was after that last game. It was definitely hey, this guy needs the ball. Got to put the ball in playmakers' hands. But one thing that we battle with, though, is having playmakers everywhere. We look around. We got Mike West, and we've got Braun. Bonapum got his first touchdown. With when Cole got hit there on the throw. We got guys everywhere. North Rainey. We've got running back. So it's kind of we don't want to just exhaust one option when it comes to our offense. So obviously we give him the ball more because he's doing the right things for us.
You've been around long enough to weigh in on this, and you would know, and you've seen it. Why do the Raiders have such a horrible time playing in Chilliwack? What is it about this road trip, especially the starts are horrible in Exhibition Stadium?
I remember losing the one way back when.
You guys got a coach fired there for that.
We got, yeah.
2007.
Snoop got fired there after that game. It was awful. It was the worst feeling we ever had. I think with that
Not
one,
that you have to worry about that, Coach. I don't know.
No, I hope I'm not sure anymore, right? Get me like, oh, right, we got fired after that. But I think rolling in there and that particular era was the arrogance, pure arrogance on our half. Was like, oh, it's no big deal.
Right.
Now though, but Bob Reese did a great job with recruiting and bringing the right guys in, and and fighting for players. So now we roll in there like as we did last year. That was our first loss was to Chilliwack. So going into this week, I can see as I'm trying to do itineraries and schedule for it. It's an awful trip. Like we're first ferry in the morning. Especially even on a Sunday, we have a full long week after a bye week.
Yeah.
The guys are exhausted. Sundays kind of they've been trained to have Sundays as recovery days. So it's not excuses per se, but more like the time spent traveling because we get off the ferry. It's a bus ride there. Then we get there just enough time to warm up. So like that travel, that lag there, young guys, it's not easy because you never sleep well night before a game.
No.
Especially now it's a Saturday night for us. That's going to play a bit of a part. So fatigue, some focus areas are tough, but I can see how that plays a major part for us when we go over to Exhibition Stadium and compete there. It's a challenge.
I wanted to ask you about that West Shore Langley game before the bye week. I mean, the Rams really they made a bit of a statement there. I think it's fair to say with that win over West Shore and the way they did that. What was the discussion, maybe even further around the league and with your group about that game?
That game there, like watching that one go down, like West Shore, they did a great defense and they made some plays. For us seeing how Langley kind of, went and took it to him, and for us, like, okay, like how are we going to match up here? Our mentality, we're still looking, what we do, but as far as how that game went, we saw Langley flex on him quite a bit, and so is there fear and whatnot? Well, it's more how are we going to prepare for this, and watching West Shore and how like they handled us that game. It's like, okay, where can we make the appropriate adjustments to be competitive and make sure that we stay in this race with them. So kudos to Langley on having a great squad, and West Shore is still gonna be super competitive. So that's where I don't have much more to say than that right now.
It's a lot of parity, like everyone's talking about this year. It seems.
Absolutely. No, it's a big race right now.
Curtis, I appreciate your time. Best of luck this weekend. I can tell you right now, I will be enjoying week 1 of the NFL for you guys as you're on Sunday afternoon. So thanks for taking that bullet for everyone.
Hey, no problem. Hey, thanks, Dahmer.
Okay.